AI is going to do a lot of great things. I've talked about breakthroughs in medicine, see the short this week. But a new one is this, how one Kentucky town used AI to unify a divided America. So imagine an AI that doesn't replace jobs, but it restores democracy. In a time of division, one Kentucky town used artificial intelligence to do something radical, actually listen to its citizens. Here's how AI helped unify a divided community, and it may be a blueprint for America. So this took place in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I've been there. And for those of you who don't know much about it, this is a smaller town in a red state, but it shows that people are sick and tired of the division now. So Bowling Green is a growing city of 76,000 known for GM's Corvette plant and a booming immigrant population, like many places in the U.S. But rapid growth brings tension, rising housing prices, urban sprawl, farmland loss. Local leaders feared the city's soul was being lost in the noise. Growth is going to happen to you or for you, said Judge Executive David Gorman. And by the way, I've seen what it's describing firsthand because I grew up in a little farm town of 500 people, and GM dropped an auto plant on that tiny little town that's now 50,000 people. So I have seen this firsthand. So an exec from Google reached out to the city of Bowling Green. Google's Jigsaw incubator stepped in with a brand new tool they wanted to try out called SenseMaker. It was built to process massive volumes of community feedback fast. What a concept. Instead of just a few voices at town halls, like most places in the country, and the same people over and over again, they asked the entire county, what do you want Bowling Green to be like in 2050? Over 33 days, 8,000 residents, which is 10% of the city, joined in. Now, I don't know how much you know about this. Many of you do know what I'm about to say. But local politics in the United States is shockingly underrepresented. What do I mean by that? I mean that very few people come out to vote in local elections. The same is true for places where they elect school boards. And the same is true in many states for statewide or county elections, as they mention here. The only thing that large numbers of people turn out to vote for in this country is every 4 years for the presidential race. But the reality is, and I've read this many times, most of what affects each person as a citizen is local and state politics, not national politics. Something to consider next time you could vote but are thinking about not doing it. So these 8,000 residents cast over 1 million votes on ideas like affordable housing, public transit, parks, and schools. Jigsaw's AI sorted and synthesized the responses, making sense of it in real time. Now, here's the interesting thing, especially today. Over half the ideas questioned received over 80% approval. So there was no division on most issues. On most issues, everyone in the town, regardless of their political party, agreed on what they wanted. What a concept. So, by the way, thanks to PBS NewsHour for this. Daniel, an immigrant from Burkina Faso, said his community finally felt heard. Laura, a working mom, could give her input during her lunch break thanks to the AI survey without having to go in the evening when she needed to take care of her kids. Dor, a disillusioned farmer, and by the way, before the Corvette plant, Bowling Green was a farm town, re-engaged in civic life because her voice mattered again. And they interviewed Laura Gilbert, a local business owner, said preserving Kentucky culture starts by being intentional, and AI made that easier. So what does all this mean? Well, first, using AI in a non-threatening and not asking the questions in a biased way, but in a neutral way, didn't create division, it reduced it. As I mentioned, 80% plus of people agreed on the core issues. It brought thousands of people into conversations who had never shown up at a town meeting. The result? The largest town hall in America, and proof that ideas can rise above partisan identity. In the real world, most people want the same things. This, what I'm about to say, is not political. It's an observation from working at about 10 different companies over time. Most people, regardless of where they come from, are the same. They want a few things. They want their families to be safe. They want their kids and wives and husbands to be happy. They want to be left alone, and they want to have a bunch of friends. That's pretty much it. So if democracy is about listening, maybe AI can give it a new life. Now, the United States is set up as a republic, not a democracy. In other words, citizens don't vote directly on legislative issues, except in the states where they have ballot referendums. But other than those referendums, we elect representatives to represent us. So it's a representative democracy or republic. But this is a model for direct democracy. Judge Gorman's takeaway: maybe we should judge ideas by their merit, not by who said them. This isn't science fiction. It's civic tech powered by Google AI, changing how we plan, speak up, and decide together as a group. So what do you think? Hit the comments. Let me know what you think about all this. I thought it was a pretty cool story and a very interesting and different use of AI. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know. Also, please like, subscribe, and share. That really helps us out with the algorithm, and we need your help. And finally, please support us on Patreon. $1 a month won't cause many people heartache, but here it makes a big difference. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.